Hey everybody, it's me, Kendall, your Teen Services Librarian here at the Blue Hill Library. I'm back again for another book talk, as always, and this week I'm going to be talking about this new book, The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This book is kind of a dystopian science fiction story and is really unique. I really haven't read anything else that I could compare to it, but it's about two sisters, K and C, which is short for Celia, and they've been separated. So C is trying her best to get back to K, and K thinks that C is gone forever. Like, she thinks she's probably never going to see her again. So that's where the story starts out. We start out with C. She is alive, as it mentions in the synopsis, and is trying to find a way to get back to K, but she is on an abandoned island and is the only person that seems to be living on that island, and all she can see is ocean for miles. So she's trying to build a boat and trying to survive and trying to figure out how to get back to K. Meanwhile, K is living in a city that is actually built up in the clouds. It's an eco city that was designed because the world that they live in has been severely affected by climate change, and natural disasters are occurring regularly. Many people, because of all the pollution and things like that, have moved to these eco-cities to be safer, and they try to reduce their carbon footprint on the planet by hollowing into like meetings and things like that. So they're not doing as much physical traveling, they're traveling virtually. Space is reduced, so people have less and are using less. There's a lot happening in this world being so affected by climate change, but there are still people who live in the outside territories is how they refer to them, and that's just like the regular world. But the issue there is those people living in those territories are experiencing, massive earthquakes, polluted water, so they can't swim in them. They need to wear special suits to be outside because of all the pollution that can affect people and make them sick. It's just a really challenging period of time and kind of reflects upon the discussion around climate change in our time today. So that there's an interesting parallel there to what they have already experienced to what we can kind of see happening here. But anyway, Kay is living in this eco city. Her father is involved, well, her parents are involved in different organizations to help better the world and make things right and healthy for people. But her father's not present a lot. There's something that happens with her mother that I won't mention here because it's a bit of a spoiler. So things are a little complicated for Kay. She is also not very emotionally in touch with herself. She's very analytical and she likes science, and she doesn't really like the feelings of emotions and things like that. Whereas C is a very empathetic person. She's very emotional, and that kind of causes some issues between the two of them, which we see in some flashbacks. But Kay is dealing with she's dealing with some challenging situations because of decisions that she made that I also can't get into because it will be a spoiler. And that drives a wedge between the two of them, like I mentioned. And then, of course, C goes missing. So there's that whole thing. The story really starts to ramp up because K thinks that there's a chance that C might still be alive. And they begin looking into that. And she meets this other character who had some interactions with C and they try to figure out what could have happened to her and why she's missing and things like that. Meanwhile, C is on the island trying to get back to K, and another character ends up appearing there, which I won't get into a lot. The thing with this book is it's best to go into with less information because there are a lot of twists and turns that happen. And for about, I would say, 85% of this book, I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. I had so many theories, but none of them seemed to be the right thing. And then I was really surprised to find out what was actually going on, but it was really cool take. I will say it ends rather suddenly, like it feels unfinished almost, but I think, obviously that was done purposely. I just wish that maybe there had been a little bit more follow-up in the end. I don't know, maybe we'll get a sequel. That seems unlikely, but I'll throw it out there just in case. But overall, I really enjoyed this book. I think it's really unique. I've never really read anything like this before. There's a lot of great sci-fi aspects to this and ideas that I don't know that I would have considered on my own. And then just the focus on taking care of our planet and how not taking care of it could potentially be detrimental to us as human beings is really interesting to see when there are so many people right now trying to make change so we can keep our planet safe. Overall, I really liked it though. I thought it was a great book. The characters were really interesting. I had a little bit of a hard time with Kay because she's not very emotional. And sometimes she seems like she's being a little bit harsh almost, but it fits for her character, so I let that slide. C was definitely my favorite. I really liked her a lot. She's a strong character and she has strong opinions and emotions, and she's just really great all around. I'm going to stop now because if I keep going, I'm likely to spoil something, and I really don't want to do that. The best thing I can say is to check this book out and give it a try because it is really good. And I think a lot of people will enjoy it if they give it a chance. So The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. It is here available at the library if you want to check it out. And if you want to talk about all the crazy twists and turns that it takes when you're done reading it, definitely stop by or send me an email and we can chat about it, because I think your brain will be spinning a little bit by the time you finish this one. So that's all I have for you guys today. I'll be back in a couple weeks with another book talk, and look forward to chatting with you all then. Until next time, happy reading. Bye, everybody.